Good morning. Let's get tuned up. All right, so good morning. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you. This is the morning ritual for guitar growth, as you may know. And it's just a hop, skip, and a jump away from Saturday. Yeah, this is an exciting time in the world of guitar where we all convene. It's like the G7. Oh my word, this is, it's a good thing there's more than one of us, because this is more fun than any one man should ever have. I'll tell you that right now. What a beautiful time. If you haven't yet subscribed or whatever, I'm sure you have. I'm gonna dispense with all of that stuff and just save this for my saying good morning to my guitar. I'll start that right now. Good morning, guitar. How are you today? With an accent like Emmanuel from Fawlty Towers, right? How are you today? Maybe you've seen that, maybe you haven't. Oh yeah, I've been working, well, I haven't been really working on it, but I've been listening to Lewis and Clark. So that's kind of a cool development, and thanks for sharing that with me. It's kind of I got thinking maybe it's in like D, some kind of an altered tuning, but I think for the most part, I think most of it, I think we can, play most of the song and the piece of music in standard, right? I'll have to give it another listen. Pretty cool song. I have to give it a few more listens, but we're coming back to that. I'm not sure about today, but maybe today. Just wanted to get practicing some gratitude for sharing that song with me and that track with me, and here we go. I hope you all had a wonderful day yesterday. I know I sure did. It is sort of a little bit like just, you know, this is purpose bent, so I'm just going to keep us sort of moving forward. So I wanted to get the housekeeping sort of underway, the good mornings. If you do see that I have a Martin D, it's an X2E. I do make it available in case you just can't seem to live without one. I make it available in case you need to purchase it, like, you know how you get, you know, I know how I get when I need a new piece of equipment. So I link it to the video. I also link this thing right here, the metronome you can get. It's featured in the video, so I wanted to link it. Another thing that I feature in the video is the tuning fork, which I don't tune with a mechanical tuner. So as you know, what I do is I tune with the tuning fork, and I use my ears in the morning, and the guitar thanks me for that. And I'm not sure if you thank me for that or not, but it's a good practice to get sort of the onboarding process for the morning ritual. Anyway, so there's also a page capo that's featured in this video, which you will be happy to know you can find. So if you're watching the video later on and wonder what's going on, what the collar is on my guitar neck, that's exactly what's going on. It's a page capo. So we'll get started. So 1E and a 2, we're doing 4 tags per beat, 60 beats per minute, like as per usual. And so no surprises there. And we're starting with fingers 2 and 3 and 4 on 10 and 12. 1, E and 2. You know what to do. Yeah, just provide good, continuous, beautiful tones. That's right, just simple things. I'm glad you're here this morning. If you're one of the, it looks like we have 4 viewers on board right now. I'm happy that you're here practicing, or not, I'm sorry, man, you've been hearing me distinguish between the words practice and warm up, and so I'm happy that you're here warming up. If I do stop talking a little bit here and there, it's just that I want to leave you your space so that you can continue to work on your on whatever it is you were working on your guitar. Hopefully it's something related to this. But if I do stop talking, I just wanted to let you know that I'm here with you, just sort of holding the space, even if I'm not talking, right? And we've just transitioned to fingers 2 and 3 with a little stretch. I got a little bit of yoga in this morning, probably half an hour or something like that. So that was a good solid start. And I try to do yoga or stretch for another half an hour, before I hit the rack at night, and that really helps to keep my at least my physical and partially my spiritual sort of connectivity together with this whole process, this whole endeavor. And of course, this whole endeavor is all about world domination, right? It's all about rule the world, take over the world with the guitar. Yeah, so we did a hardcore project last week, and we've got those fellas, that gang, coming in this morning, and I have never heard anybody nail like the screecho. It's not screamo, but it's like the Pantera meets like Philip Anselmo's growls, like meets who else would it be? Meets Cannibal Corpse? No, it's deeper. It's like who did the let's go ahead and I'll come back to it. So fingers 1 and 2 on 10 and 12. We've got that gang coming back, and I'll tell you what, this screeches are just, it's more like a growl, but it's really gravelly, really heavy sort of just amazing sounds. I don't know anyone, I know other people who do it, but I don't know anyone else who sounds like this, put it that way. I've been around that a lot, and I feel okay in saying that, geez, I don't really know anyone else who's as good as, they're as good as in their own way, I suppose. But this is something a little different, and it's very exciting, to be part of. So we'll see what happens with that project today. Yeah. Also, if you wanted to, wanted to go find some, pentatonic melodies and such on one string on your guitar, of course, you're always welcome to do that. You can choose to dilly-dally, and nobody's going to call harm or foul for that. But I'm just going to stay right here on direction and try to keep us moving forward through the warm-up process so that we can get onto some discovery, really meaty and deep discovery-based practice methods, right? So let's go ahead. Fingers 2 and 4 on 9 and 12, and here we go. 1 E and a 2, and you know what to do. Fingers 2 and 4 on 9 and 12. We've got a bit of a stretch here, not too much, but it's really exciting to see that that people are coming on board here. And I just wanted to let you know, welcome to the morning ritual for guitar growth. And this is happening every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time at right here on Jason Carey Guitar. So grab your guitar, jump on board. The water's fine, you know. We've got the metronome ripping at 60 beats, you know, and it's 60 beats per minute. And it's just, life doesn't get much better than this, you know. I mean, it does, but we, you know, being in the moment, it's hard to beat being in the moment. So here we are. Yeah, I would recommend grab your guitar. 1 E and 2, fingers 1 and 3, and here we go. If you're looking for that place to warm up and get your bones and your mind and your guitar strings and your guitar, all of these things all aligned to the same resonant frequency in the morning, just so we can be fresh and ready to approach the guitar day, this is the place for you and me. This is the place really for me, but I thought maybe some others might want to also benefit from practicing, or nope, not practicing, warming up every day in the morning. So I'm here every weekday morning at 7:30, all throughout 2025. Yeah, it's really simple. It's so simple to be here, you know. It's really not simple, actually. So I know there are others who have been here from the beginning, and they're here with every episode, you know, and still check in and stuff. It's remarkable that anybody makes the time to play the guitar in this day and age. So fingers 1 and 4 on 7 and 12, and we're just cooking with fire now. So don't leave the crepes on the flame too long, they'll burn. 1 E end of 2, E end of T, E end of 4, E end of. Yeah, and just working through the old finger warm-ups. And as you know, I'm here for 1 hour, so we're here until the bottom of the hour at 8:30, for better or worse, also good Lord willing. And we're here for an hour, so if you know a friend who is in need of a warm-up, who has been really looking to just get in, you know, to ingratiate himself or herself with the guitar, this is a wonderful way to do it through warm-up process. Plus, it'll help to ameliorate some of that 21st century stress. You know what I mean? It's a great thing to do, wonderful thing to do. That's why we're here. We're also here because I have already, you know, identified a lofty group of goals for my own person for 2025. And that's why I've agreed to be here all year long to do this. And that's what we're doing. So come heck or high water, good Lord willing. Let's go ahead and change into the next. We've got a little more time. We've got, we just did 2 finger groups. You know, we did a lot of those permutations, and now we're moving on to 3 finger groups. So let's get that started before we stretch. 1 E and 2, 2, 3, and 4 on 10, 11, and 12. You know, if you're just popping in, this is always a welcome spot for you. It's super easy to come and go as you need, but get whatever you can out of it, and then apply it to your own guitar practice, right? And that's what I've been watching some of the friends who are watching this stream, and they're building their own channels, and it's just so great to watch people take it to their own space, and take it to their own levels, and take it to their own interest. You know, that's what really the guitar is all about, I think. And you know, we all have a different sort of voice, and sometimes it's great to hear different voices at different times. So I'm currently also writing a blues album. I thought maybe a blues album. I've got this beautiful, one of the guitars, one of my daily drivers is a Gibson. It's an ES339. It's a daily driver. It's a studio model, but it's the Memphis one with the Memphis wiring in it. You know what I mean? So I thought, I haven't really ever written a blues album, so I'm in the middle of doing a blues record right now. And I haven't released a full album probably since 2013. I've just been, you know, chasing the stories down and writing and releasing singles. And this will be a really great opportunity. I'm not sure if it will be an EP or if it will be like a full-on, 12-item album, but it will be coming soon. So 1 E and 2 fingers, 10, 11, and 12. Here we go. It could be a single too, who knows. But I think the idea is to just re-explore sort of like the simplicity of American blues music and get right back to the core foundations of what it is that started me as a player. Because I did start out with a couple of solid blues guitars, as probably many of you did, right? And maybe you're a blues guitar player yourself. If you have any favorite blues guitar players, I think back to this one story where I fell asleep at the wheel. Yeah, it was a really long week. We were working all day, gigging all night, and we were coming back from a late night gig where I was, I had left the band. It was 2.5 hours, maybe 2 hours away from my residence at the time, and it was like a Friday. I think it was Friday or Saturday morning or something, but it was a long night. Got home at 4 o'clock. Went to hit the rack for like half an hour, and let's do fingers 1 and 2 and 3 on 9 and 10 and 12. Go. And then it was a long week, and I remember driving home in the afternoon that day. I had gone to work. I was working a day job. And I remember this cloud, it was a straightaway, and I remember the clouds were just perfect, and I was sort of getting lost in the clouds while driving a 92 900 and black one, a beautiful, beautiful car. And then B.B. King's The Thrill Is Gone was on the record, or on the CD. It was a CD player in the car, and I remember waking up to a crack. It felt like a concussion. I had been concussed, and my arm was out the window, and I looked over at I'm looking around, and I thought, what the heck? I'm on the wrong side of the road, almost going off the wrong side of the road. And then I looked down at my forearm, which was hanging out of the driver's window, right? Because that's what we do on sunny days. And then fingers 1 and 3 and 4. Let's get back to this. 9, 11, and 12. 9, 11, and 12. So 1C and a 2C and a put in all my choosies. So we're off and running, and I realized, man, I am on the wrong side of the road, and I've got no rear view mirror left on my car, just part of it's hanging there, and I'm like, what the heck? And I thought maybe I hit a mailbox, and I'm looking around, and I notice my arm is like all full of broken glass, and glass had exploded into my forearm, and I thought, wow, oh my gosh, I better pull over. So I looked around to make sure it was clear for me to go pull over on the other side of the road. And I sat there, and I looked in the rear view mirror, and I see a car going the other direction, swerving around, and then eventually kind of coming to rest on that side of the road. I thought, oh no, man, maybe I probably really hurt somebody. So this is a cool story, so you want to hear the rest of it. It's a really cool story. I mean, it's not sad. I mean, it is a little sad, but that we let ourselves get so tired and overworked sometimes that it comes to this, and it's not uncommon. I mean, it's relatively uncommon, but it happens. So I thought, oh my word, I just hit this person, and I'm going to jail. Whatever. I had all of those thoughts that you would have. And I'm worried that I don't want to have on my soul that I injured somebody with my automobile. So I thought, okay, so I'm just going to wait here. There's rescue. I'm bound to come. And they were there in no time. But before they came, the fella walked all the way up the road from the car, and he came to, I'm going to stretch right here because this is a perfect spot to stretch. I'm a little 5 minutes over, but that's okay. We'll make it up for 2.5 minutes in the next one, top of the hour. We'll go at 8:02, 8:03 for the stretch. So up the road he comes, and I'm thinking, oh man. And he says, the first thing that he says to me is he puts his head in my windshield, and he says, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay." I mean, I've got glass hanging out of my arm, shreds. It's all shredded and it's like bleeding out. And I'm thinking, yeah, I mean, I've had worse. And he's like, "Oh my word, my little daughter is in the car." And I thought, oh no, I hope he's not going to tell me what I don't want to hear. And he said, "Everyone's okay." He said, "Everyone's okay. It looks like you fell asleep at the wheel and you came all the way over into my lane, and I couldn't get over any further without driving off the side of the road, see? And then we hit rear view mirrors, and that's what had happened." And so he explained that to me, and it made sense all of a sudden. And I realized that it's not a good idea to drive when you're really tired. So you learn these things hopefully from your parents before you get out into the real world, right? And even if you hear them from your parents, sometimes it's not, and I'm going to relate this all right back to the guitar, but it's really important, it's super important to focus on the self and take care of the self, because if you can't take care of the self, you can't take care of anything else, right? Super important. And so I said to the guy, I said to the fella, I'm like, geez, I didn't realize, if I had realized, this never would have happened. And he said, "Don't sweat it. My daughter's safe, I'm safe. It's just a rear view mirror, and our insurances will cover that." And I said, "You're darn right they will, and mine will." And so he says, he leans in, I'm not sure what he's doing. He leans into me, and he says, "It's okay. And if you can't laugh at it, why bother?" And that's I think that was the second time I heard that time in my life. If you can't laugh at it, why bother? And then he hands me his business card. He's a comedian. And I thought, he's a famous comedian that everybody around, and people know. And I thought, oh my word, what a dude, what a fella. And I couldn't believe he handed me his business card. And so I wanted to relate that, because coming back to a blues album for me might mean something different than it might mean for you to play blues, For example, every time I don't cover it much, but when I do cover The Thrill Is Gone, it means something different to me. And that's the beauty about blues. That's the beauty about American blues, where we have an option to play different things. We have an option to interpret the same notes we're going to actually include all of those notes, that Pentatonic Palace. We're going to include all of those notes in our warm-up, at least for a little while. So, it sounds blues, right, when an American Delta player is playing it, but it sounds Balinesian when you're playing it on these instruments in different parts of the world. So it's the same scale, but they're different inflections. We all carry our own previous dispositions to inform the melody, I guess, is what I'm saying. So, yeah, I could write 20 blues albums and 50 blues albums and never run out, Thank God. Thank God. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at, where are we at? I think we're at 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. All right, 1Z in, a 2Z in, and putting on my shoesy. So I'm on 9, 10, 11, 12. And if you're still here, which I see that some of you are, if you wouldn't mind just giving us a double tap the screen if you're on your mobile viewport, or smash that like button. That really helps out. That's a good, easy, low barrier, low hanging fruit kind of thing to do and help out the channel. Certainly appreciate it. But other than that, I'm here. I'm Jason. In case you're wondering what in the heck is going on this morning, thank you very much for the like. I appreciate it. And I'm here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, telling a few stories, but mostly staying on track. And as long as it's circumtangentially sort of relatable to the guitar, then we'll go ahead and talk about it. But it's got to be warm up for me. This is primarily a warm up period. And I'm thinking about just connecting my body and my mind and my soul and my spirit and all of those, all of those things back to the guitar every weekday morning at 7:30, and it's fun to think that, others might be doing the same thing around the world. I'm just wondering, there's still a pretty healthy guitar population around the planet. And fortunately, we all have been bitten by the bug, and that means, well, how do I become better at this? How do I achieve this goal? How do I play like Stevie Ray Vaughan, or how do I play like Tommy Emmanuel? How? And then maybe why? Why do I feel compelled to do this? That's probably a better question for me. And let's go ahead and 9, 10, 11, and 14, 13. We could do 14, but let's leave it in the world of reason. 9, 10, 11, and 13. And we're using the same 1, 2, 3, but this time it's a stretch 4th finger. And once the end of Tuesday, and putting on my shoesies. There it is. Getting that 4th finger stretched, but we're also using all 4 fingers of the fretting hand, which is great for us, because if you still are fortunate enough to have your 4 fingers after a lifetime of work that you've done in the field, jackhammering and chop sawing and all of the things that you might be doing or have been doing, to have 4 fingers is an absolute blessing, and a thumb is an absolute blessing. But, we start with 2-finger wonder, and we continue on with variations of 2-finger options. We carry on with 3-finger wonders, and then we carry on with permutations of what if I only had 2 fingers? That's where we begin every single morning. What if as 2-finger guitar players? And then eventually we graduate through that group of playing, and then we get through 3 fingers, and then finally we are back up to becoming 4-finger guitar players, which, I've got to tell you, I'm a fan of being able to use all 4 fingers with control and purpose and dexterity and tone and meaning. I'm a big fan of incorporating everyone at the dinner table, at the dining table. It could be the breakfast table, but you're still, even at the breakfast table, you're going to be asked to send the Tabasco my way for the Eggs Benedict. Just going to happen. Let's go ahead and fingers 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the frets 9, 10, 11, and 12. But this time we're doing the old, you know what I'm talking about, the kickstand. We're going to break out the kickstand. We're just going to kick it back and just get that angular, uncomfortability happening. All right, 1 and 2, you know what to do. Yeah, we've got another stretch coming up in a couple minutes, and this one won't be quite as long. But I think we're still sort of on a week. This is Happy Friday, by the way. It is the end of the week. So certainly appreciate it. You being here, hanging out, and spending some guitar warm-up time down with me, and yourself and your guitar. But it is a Friday. It is a Happy Friday. We have I have to warn you, there is another chord chemistry coming tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. I've got to warn you, just get comfortable, bring your tea, bring your beverage or whatever it is you do in the morning. It's going to premiere at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow morning. It's like part 9 AP. We are cruising through this book, but it's like page 50 and 51, and it's the dominant 11 flat 9 chords and some other assorted weird chords. I gotta tell you, it's a longish video, so I wanted to just prepare you. I think it's close to an hour. I think maybe something like 45 minutes or something, 50 minutes. So it is going to require just kind of work. It's a good idea if you have the book in advance, but all of the chord diagrams are listed on the screen, so you can follow along without even having the book. Just join us tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here at Jason Carey Guitar for part 9 AP of Ted Green's chord chemistry. Yeah. All right, so we've stretched through all of the 4 fingers. Let's go ahead and get through the old diagonal pattern. We have a couple more minutes. So we'll go ahead and start here. 1 E in at 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then we invert that and then descend, invert, and then descend, invert. All right, all that stuff. 1 E and 2, 9 to 11, 12. Go. We've been using sort of an exploded version of this, which we probably will likely take time to do. Let's go back up the middle 4 strings. Let's ascend. I said back up, but let's go ascending. And then we're ascending and then descending, but we're still generally moving up the neck. So I guess we're still kind of carrying our weight up the hill at the moment. When we get to, up here somewhere like 12, we'll go ahead and come down the bottom 4 strings, and then that way we have a pretty solid experience of the full range of the guitar neck, and we're focusing on picking hand prowess by using 1 alternating pick stroke per string, right? So we have down, up, and every time I alternate from one string to the next, it's a different pick direction. And we are going to take just a minute, and I'm going to take a minute, and you're welcome to take that moment with me. I'm going to expand on this again because, and just using those contiguous strings, it's really good. I mean, that is good enough, right? But when you say it's good enough, you're thinking, oh, well, what could I do to make it better, right? So I wanted to take this contiguous string group and then just sort of like, let's put it in the middle strings. So I'm just going to expand enter a string skip here between the E and the D strings. Fingers 2 and 3 remain the same, 2 middle strings. And that 4th finger, jumps up to high E string, whereby we introduced a string skip and a fair amount of additional skill development, I guess, right? So let's go ahead and start it on position number 9, and we'll start with that same down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up that you hear me say all morning long. 1 E and a 2. Here we go, E and a. And I think I'm there. Can I play each note clearly? And I'm pretty close. I'm not winning any prizes, but I'm pretty close. I feel like I'm getting that continuity of tone. I'm not like the high E string isn't designed to jump out. I'm not, forcing the high E note or the high E string to ring, louder than it naturally should. Even tone everywhere, even though there are tough times all around in an exercise like that, everywhere you look, there's a tough time coming at you, right? Even though that's there, we can still slow it down. So if this is new to you, this is terrifying, right? This is a completely terrifying experience. And at least it was for me to do it in front of you the first time. So we're using fingers 1, and I mean, maybe not as terrifying as seeing it for the first time. I guess I've done it probably before or something like that. But this is equally as important, if not more important, for me to go back through and do this one attack per beat or per click, right? So you have this Martin DX2E. This is available if you just can't live without it. It's linked in the video. Everything I use in the video is all linked here in case you need the gear, in case something broke. Metronome, 60 beats per minute. Tuning fork, which we use to check the tuning. I don't use an electronic tuner. And the page capo. You see that there's something hanging on, a bolt on the back of my neck, and that's what's going on there. So if you need any of those pieces of gear, you can also support the channel very simply by doing that. It doesn't cost you any more, but it does give us a little bit of credit here and there. So super helpful to know. But when I do this, it's all one attack per beat. That way, in this approach, I can control how long each tone rings for just by plucking. There's pressure on the fretboard, a pluck, and then a release from the fretboard. If I want the short staccato note, I can control that with my fret hand. Or if I want a longer legato tone, I also control that with my fret hand. So I could let it ring for as long as I absolutely can until I reach the next beat. But I do not want any of these notes to ring over the other notes, right? I want this to be perceived as a single note line, so that if I have my eyes closed, I hear a very sort of distantly remote and angular melodic action here. There's some activity here, but it's not restful at all. So what I would do, I would also start using 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I would use 2 attacks per beat, which all of this makes sense, and it might be boring for some of us, but each rhythmic breakdown is a completely separate system. For example, threes, if I use 3 attacks per beat, or so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So those are all important, and then when we get back to do our 5s, or our 16th notes, triplets, or whatever. All of those things matter, all right? So, but we're at a place, we've reached a place where we have, which we find representing another stretch. So here we go. We're not losing any momentum. As a matter of fact, we're gaining momentum just by stretching the body, being mindful of the posture of the back, and just being mindful that the lumbar, or not the lumbar, the abdomen, the belly is sort of like remaining strong to hold up the back and do all of those things that we need it to do, so that we can prevent, workplace and shoulder tightness and back tightness. And we're going to do, I like to do one more stretch after I get through these finger stretches and wrist stretches. I also like to do sort of like cactus my arms a little bit, and it's a really simple drill, really simple exercise. And it's one of these. We're just kind of putting the shoulders down, roll the shoulders up and back, but then I put my arms sort of like up like like a cactus. So it's my arms, this part of the arm is parallel with the floor. And then what I'll do is roll forward as much as I can with both arms, and then roll back as much as I can with both arms. But while I'm staying straight, sitting straight up and down, and I try not to change my relationship with this part of the arm with being parallel to the floor. So I'm trying to keep all of that parallel. So I'm rotating forward now, as far as I can. And sometimes both shoulders are different too. All right, but anyway, that's a great thing to be doing. It kind of counters what we do as we're turning into little Quasimodos over here. Let's take a second to enjoy a little green tea, really add some happiness into the life, Nice and bitter. There's no sweetener in it, so it's just green tea and jasmine. Right. Hey, lady. You got the love I need. Maybe, more than enough. Where are we headed? Oh, pentatonicism, right? Here's the Pentatonic Palace. So we're starting with, the old pattern 1, 16th note triplets. And I'm sorry if I'm losing you here, but you can play this at your own speed, Just a really simple up and through, just to solidify our relationship with the pattern. We have that nice 2-4-1-4 pattern 2. Let's go ahead and get back to position number 3, or pattern number 3 of the Pentatonic Palace. Right after we get through this, we're going to start transitioning from the mindset of a guitar practitioner, warming up to that of a mindset of a guitar practitioner that's sort of practicing, get shifting that step so that we can work on practicing sort of like, practice stuff instead of just warm-up stuff. Just simple work. We're not, doing this to impress anybody. This is the work that we do on our own, just getting all of these things under the fingertips, just sort of warming up for the sprint, you know what I mean? Just to get the carriage moving. And all right, the next one is the pattern 4. if we make a couple of mistakes here and there, that's cool, but let's keep an eye out for tension that sort of mounts in our bodies, and we'll help mitigate that if we're just paying attention to it. We don't want tension to sort of build in our ankles, our legs, and our shoulders, anywhere other than what is needed. The only tension I really want on the guitar is enough that will, you know, move one finger to the next fret, or the arm to the next position, or, you know, the pick to come up or down through the string set. Other than that, any more tension in my body, it really will end up restricting my ability to play and connect with that, you know, that great beyond, and translate and immediately transpose notes from the ether in through my, you know, whatever it is here, and then jangly old thing, and then come out through the guitar neck in real time. So mitigating tension is a big part of my warm-up, right? Just a special pro note, I guess. And you know, anybody can play a lick and make it look good and cool, but to get out of the way of the thing is the important part for me. All right. Okay. All right. The last minor pentatonic shape in the Pentatonic Palace is this one, the 2/4, 2/4, 1/4, 1/4, 2/4, 2/4, which is underway currently. Nice even pattern, you know, very cool symmetry here. Breathing in and out, going through the motions at least one time. And then there are other permutations. All of these other things that will really sort of work really well, I think, as we start to practice them and feel more comfortable with them. But for the last 12 minutes or so, I wanted to talk a little bit about moving from the world of, number one, moving into the world of the weekend and preparing my mind to have some great family time. I think we're hosting a little video. We have Karate Kid, I think, on cue for tomorrow night. We're running it at the studio here on the outside wall of one of the studios here, and it's a white smooth wall, and we're just going to project. We're going to bring the PA, one of the PAs out here, and just let a movie rip. So we're going to watch a movie and have a few snacks. So we're doing that tomorrow night. So that's kind of I think we're doing that tomorrow night. It's on the agenda, and I think that will be a fairly interesting moment, you know, with some family and maybe some friends or whatever. But good stuff. Got to make the stuff happen. And one last stretch as we prepare to move from the warm-up mentality or the warm-up mindset into the practice mindset. We'll call it lift. We'll just get to work on lifting the veil. So what are we working on today? I think I'm going to shift gears altogether and start working on what it means to, if I wanted to really play like a Tommy Emmanuel song, like such as, you know, I don't know, Lewis and Clark maybe. I would start by using like, well, number one, I would start with capo number 2 because it's, you know, capo number 2, I think. And then there's this really cool exposure to I'm just going to play it in standard. I haven't figured out whether this is in standard tuning or altered tuning or what yet, but I know there's some E-ishness available at the intro. So this is something, it's a song I wrote. It reminds me a lot of a song I wrote called, I don't even remember what the song is. It's in like, you know, it's in like 7, so I'd have to turn off that metronome, but it's basically that, you know, whatever that, you know. But I think it's just I like to hear all of the sort of like the radiant tones of the guitar ringing. So it's I don't mute out any of the strings or choke out any of the strings at all. I just kind of let them all ring. Memorize is what the song is called. Deep inside these eyes, I lay my memories. Take down if you please. So there's that, you know, right away when I hear Lewis and Clark from like Mr. Tommy Emmanuel, who is touring like extensively at the moment, I hear like that, you know, really great, all of the strings are left open sort of to resonate and sympathetically ring. And now you could use that minor third. I think he uses that. This would be a really great thing to get familiar with, just that minor pentatonic, because we've come all over the guitar neck with that pentatonic system that we're getting really, really familiar with at this point. And I'm just wanting to play the minor pentatonic shape from E. Well, this is F sharp, but I'm on capo 2 now. You can see that I'm featuring the capo. If you need a capo, this Page capo is fantastic. I have one on every guitar, every acoustic guitar. I don't use capos on electric guitar unless I'm looking for a special effect or something like that, to shorten the scale length. But I keep one at all times on my guitar so that I take it out of a case, take it up off the stand on the stage, and then it's already there. I don't have to fish around in my pocket looking for something and drop it. So that's huge for me, but I'm looking for that minor pentatonic shape. But if you do need the capo, it's linked in the as a product linked in this video. So if you do need a capo, this is a wonderful option. Because I'm looking at minor pentatonic as it moves between frets 5 and then 5 and then 8 and then what is that, 5? No, it's capoed fret 5, but it's actually fret 7. and then 10, and then 12, or F sharp, A, and then B. And then what we could do is run up here to that C sharp note. If we think of this in terms of E minor pentatonic, or E minor, right? I'm not really sure. I haven't listened to it enough to know how to play it, but I think that's basically the idea, is to kind of like get that D chord going with a sus4, and then the release, pull, hammer on and pull off, and then the open, basically the open high E string, and then, you know, that A chord with the sus2 with that third finger hammering onto fret number 2 on the B string, right? And then we have that E chord, and then the right hand looks kind of like this. So there's, you know, capo 2, and then we have the D chord, and then the A chord. Played that kind of, you know, I like the lazy A, but I'm not playing lazy rock and roll now, so I kind of have to actually pay attention. And then the E major chord, you know. And then there's this kind of like, the melody runs up to falsely lead our ears to the open G string or the G chord, but it's really the C. And then the D chord with the F sharp and the bass. And then it's either E minor there or E major or something. But the funny part about the song is the intro and how it works from using that open high E string as a drone as the melody works around it. What a fantastic sort of primordial way to begin any acoustic guitar song. And then you can mess around with whether it's major. So that's where we'll probably, you know, start beginning to close out for today. That's a little bit of how I practice. I would have to limit myself and set timers so that I don't run off and do discovery-based work all day. Although sometimes I throw all of that out the window and just allow myself to only do discovery-based work, because that's where the real discovery is, right? So there's a little bit of a balance here and there, and you do whatever. I don't know, people say this, I think it's kind of a foolish thing. You do you. I'm like, yeah, it's what I've always been doing, pal. I don't need you to tell me to do me. I'm like, what? Okay, how about you do you and get the heck away from me, you know? And that's, I don't know, I think just the language is, it gets in the way of the music. So I'll stop using language and try to focus more on guitar. How about that? That might be better for all of us. Anyway, I'm glad that you're here. I'm super happy that you're here, and super happy that you're playing guitar with Jason Carey Guitar. And meet you again after the weekend. Okay, couple of quick things to wrap up. We do have a morning, not a morning ritual. That's every weekday morning. So I'll see you again Monday morning at 7:30 for this warm up. But then I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, right here on Jason Carey Guitar with a premiere that we're launching Part 9 AP of Ted Green's Chord Chemistry. So we'll see you there tomorrow morning. And until we meet again, I wish you happy picking.